right, our next speaker is Aaron Nichols. Welcome to the stage, Aaron. He's been waiting.
You guys are going to love my first slide. How many of you guys here have heard that windmills cause cancer? All right, what about that lithium batteries explode and spontaneously catch fire? Great. So, Freya, what do those have in common, those statements?
Donald Trump.
Nothing? Could be. Okay, Donald Trump, nothing. What else? What do these have in common? They're scary. Yeah, they're false. Nice. I did write other than being false, but whatever.
They're compelling.
They are compelling. There we go. We're on to it. So, they are simple, they're memorable, and they tell a story. I'm very new to the renewable industry, but fossil fuel companies seem to freaking crush this. And we don't. Welcome to How to Tell Compelling Clean Energy Stories, or Why No One Wants to See a Graph When They're Worried About a Fire. I got the idea for this talk when I was on a call, and I heard someone say, protesters worried about batteries spontaneously combusting and causing house fires were trying to get anti-battery legislation passed. And this person said, we sent our best analysts with charts and graphs and they got shouted down. And my immediate reaction was, of course they got shouted down. Because if I was worried about a fire and someone showed me a graph, I too would be furious. Who's with me? Yeah, thank you. Anyway, we're gonna have to wait till this slide ends. How many of you ever been in a fight with your significant other and immediately showed them a graph? Hey, we got one. There's an engineer. So one person, how did that go? Okay, that's what I thought. But we think that we can convince strangers of things the same way. We think that if we just do enough studies and throw them at the problem, that they're gonna listen. This has not, does not, and will never work. That's not how human psychology works. Hello, my name is Aaron Nichols. And I'm very new, but I've managed to get some major publications to quote me and write about me by applying what I'm about to tell you.
We love Suncast.
Woo! Nice. Thank you.
Suncast media is amazing.
I'm going to tell you two stories, and I want you to vote by show of hands at the end of these two stories which you think is more compelling. So I guess I'll go ahead and start story one right now. We built this solar energy, you'll see it in a second. We built this solar energy system. It puts out 14.6 kilowatts of electricity. It is powered by 48 SunPower 305 watt modules with 48 TS4 optimizers. I forgot to memorize this part. Story two, we built this solar system. It powers this greenhouse. It grows organic produce in inner city Philadelphia. Students grow it and they eat what they can and they sell what they can't in an on-site farmer's market every month. Now, yeah, by show of hands, who liked story one more? Hey, more engineers. Who liked story two more? Amazing. So, story two got our local congressman to come speak at our ribbon cutting. It got the local NPR chapter to publish us. It got a local news station to run a story about us, and it got us a relationship with an NPR reporter that got us into a story that went national all across the country. Here's a graph. The Center for Economic Research and Policy proved that stories and facts move people's perceptions in the moment about the same amount, but stories stay while facts decay. People do look for facts, but only once they believe stories, only once there is an emotional connection. I don't make the rules, but this is the game. Next slide. Stories stick, facts fade. Stories are memorable, facts decay very quickly. If you think about what you remember from the past week, month, or year, I can almost guarantee it's a story, not a fact. Facts are for the in-group, for people who already care what you're talking about. Stories are for the out-group, to develop an emotional connection so that people will actually research those things themselves. There is such a burden of education in what we do. And fossil fuels outspends us 20-1 in marketing and PR, which means when we have someone's attention, we'd better make damn sure we have something interesting to say. And most of the time, we don't. So, Where to start? The compelling story isn't how much power it makes with what technology. This drives me insane. The compelling story is what does it power and why should the listener care?
Who's a good storyteller? Nicely done. So I love this because I'm really into the emotional, kind of the consumer behavior side of things. So a while back I noticed that people didn't really want solar power for the power, they wanted it for the prestige. So I sell fake solar panels, and they're quite inexpensive, but I still charge a lot for them, so that's going well. It's ironic because I've done these I've done these man on the street videos. So yeah, thank you. So Jimmy Kimmel copied me, and those guys. I just ask people a simple question: what's a kilowatt hour? How do you charge an EV? So on my website, LeBlanc Energy, you can see these videos that I did about EV adoption and what people are afraid of, and the stories are the same. So you're talking about stories for a positive influence, but stories can work against you even more powerfully, I think, because there's these stories that happen on the negative side, like you talked about the fires with lithium. They're carrying it in their pocket. They're not worried about the fire. They're taking the story and moving it for their purposes. Now, when I'm saying they, it's the people who are instigating that, but I was going to ask you, who is we in the case of your talk? Well, you said we and they, and I'm saying that now. Who do you consider as we? Is it the solar industry to the clean energy industry?
Yeah, I would say just fossil fuels would be they.
Yeah, that makes sense. So I love that, and so there was like 4 stories about EVs that I kept hearing over and over and over, and they were exactly the same.